So
I
cool.
didn't even realize we were still on the phone. I thought when you went, I don't know why I thought automatically would just change over. Why would it do that? It's not that smart, is it? Haha.
I think that's why we should use our backup phones because we know we're not gonna take no calls or nothing on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely blew my mind on that one. And that's when I was like, dang, before we get deeper into that, we really need to just hold for a second. But let me make sure I'm looking at this. Make sure that it's working. And I feel so bad because that one dude, I was trying to ask him, I was like, hey, can you hear us now or whatever? And he didn't say nothing. So
Probably jumped off for a little while.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, it's Saturday. People trying to have a good time. They're not trying to sit up. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, cool. So we're good. I just tested it.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So, man. We did make it pretty far on there though. Like you just taught me something.
Yeah.
I hate that the sound didn't come through. I hate that. But yeah, so at least I got my epiphany on there. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So how'd you want to set this up? What'd you want to do? You wanted to keep discussing it or just call this a test and call it a day?
Just do a little bit a shorter little version of it. Just
You say what now?
do a little video. Do it a little bit again, but just make it a little shorter.
Okay. So basically we were on a live earlier and we were talking about the whole statue in New York and the black woman statue. And of course, I was crying about it because that's what I do. This is an opportunity to complain, and boy, did I complain. And I did not realize that that statue actually does represent the image and the attitude of most black women.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just kind of blew my mind. We kind of dug deeper into it. And by the way, I guess we could reintroduce ourselves. Me, I'm Jesse V. So, this is my husband, Leg Quarter Trucker.
Leg quarter
Um,
trucker, LG underscore trucker,
yeah,
over the road
or
truck driver.
LQ, but they'll be able to find it. I think it's on the thing. Actually,
Yeah, it is.
I can link it in the description. Yeah, well, yeah, we're still kind of figuring it out. I am cool. So
Hello, I
like,
am cool.
yeah, we did a
How are
whole
you?
live earlier, but yeah, we
Yeah,
did a whole live
I've
earlier.
never done a live, and I think I was talking in the phone and hearing the voice
But
on the live, and
that
it
was
was
a
just
good
funny.
pre-run though. So this is the statue. I haven't figured out my little screen thing. We still figure this is the statue in New York. And we
Hmm.
kind of broke this down, the image of it and everything. And I had a short up there and I've been throwing a tantrum over this statue. And so, just having is it okay if I call you Josh or should I just call you like Leg Quarter or which
You
one
can
do
call
you
me Josh.
prefer?
That's fine.
Okay. No,
Josh is
you know
fine.
what? What I'm gonna do, I think what I'm gonna do is just call you Leg Quarter because that's your thing. You know what I mean? So that way people know how to find you, stuff like that. But I'll
Okay.
definitely put you in the description so that
Okay.
people can be able to find you. Um, but yeah, we
All
were
right.
talking about that statue, and of course, I was sore about it because I felt like it was an insult and a complete misrepresentation of black women.
And
Um,
unfortunately, I have found on the road in person in various states, all 48, that it is not the case, and that that depiction is actually more accurate than anyone would like to admit. I
yeah,
myself actually had to actually admit, to be honest, it's actually the majority of black women look very similar to that woman in that statue.
let me just ask this question too. I remember when you talked about the statue having, I can't get over this whole thing when you say she's squared up like a man.
So, as a man, when you look at somebody, you start in a triangle. Typically, the eyes and the mouth and nose is a triangle up and down that way. When someone stands square, shoulder width apart, That is, I'm squaring up. I'm standing up straight. You
Yeah,
look at the statue. She is standing exactly that way. The only thing different is her legs and her hands are on her hips. Typically,
yeah,
guys don't put their hands on their hips that are masculine. Um,
right. And we're
but
just
uh,
talking just general,
but in
just
general,
general.
women that stand that way are women that are masculine.
Right. So, because
So
at first I was irritated just looking at the statue, and then we even touched on like our different upbringings and our perceptions of black women, right?
hmm
So, oftentimes when I was growing up, I was not allowed to hang out. I was very sheltered. That puts it in a nutshell. So then,
yes,
with
and I was raised by white people that were not around a lot of black families. So I have a different perspective as far as seeing from the outside, looking from the outside.
right, right. So, because this is, and I'm gonna finish my point here. So, like, with that being said, with my upbringing, the way that I was raised in the environment that I was raised in, uh, that projection of attitude, and even like we talked about, like the body type, that was
Yes,
like not acceptable. But
I
what
guess we need to
you
go
were
over it so
telling
they know what
me,
we're talking about. But you go ahead.
no, we will. I mean, it's kind of a circular conversation, but
Round and round we go.
it really is because
Circle, like you said, you saw. Look at a circle. Now look at a
yeah,
triangle.
yeah, yeah, and how her shoulders were like squared, and so
hmm
like, but because now what I
That's a
realized,
bucking stance.
bucking. So no, because now we're, it's so crazy because at the beginning with the other lot, and I just went ahead and deleted it. I'm so frustrated, and I probably should have listened to the chat when they were like they couldn't hear. But you know, when you say a bucket set, do you know like these kind of words are, these are some big words that you're using for a woman, because usually when you're thinking about a woman, it's like feminine, soft, friendly, inviting,
I'm gonna blow your mind
kind.
here. That's what you used to think of as a woman.
No. Let's stop there. Okay. What I'm saying is when people who are romantically involved with women
hmm
and women who want to be perceived to be desirable, these are the kind of what you call it, personality traits that they would like to project. Like,
Yes.
okay, when we were dating, I didn't want you to see me as somebody who's bucking, somebody who's squared, somebody who's threatening, intimidating, rude, right? That's not, if I were to be described, that's not the description I was going for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like on the flip side, I imagine you didn't want me to see you as a bunch of negative words, you
No.
know? Right. So the fact that this statue what is giving off like the words that you're using, it is so offensive. But at the
That
same
statue
time,
represents.
words, I don't know what that means. That face, all that, I don't know what that means.
That statue represents a confrontation.
Confrontation. So we use bucking
Pretty
and
much,
we
pretty
use
much, pretty much squaring up, bucking, and I'm in your face. What are you gonna do about it? Something normally a guy would do if he's confronting someone who's trying to diss him or
like, does any part of the statue represent
no
what
part of the statue
feminine?
represents femininity.
Not even the boobs.
No. Shit. I like how you laughed at that. No, it does not because
No, because I'm just so
that looks like fat
so.
man boobs.
It's just.
Fat man boobs.
So those are man
I'm tell.
boobs.
Yes, there are men that have boobs like that. Yes.
Huh. Huh. And then I'm having
The
such a
only thing
hard
that you
time.
can, the only reason you know it's a woman is because she's standing with her hands on her hips and the legs out to the side, long hair down, and the face shows it. you can't really go and go, oh, she has boobs and then have a, man parts in front of her, because that's not distinguishable. No,
Yeah.
that does not. What part of that makes you think, oh, she's a pretty woman?
Well, okay, so that opens up another can of worms too, because what if what if she doesn't want to be projected as pretty? What if she wants to be projected as, what if she doesn't like men? Then what? What if she doesn't want to attract you? Why are you making that face? No, but what if she don't want a man?
Because
What's wrong with that?
everything evolving in this world comes from a man. So if you don't want to attract a man and you want to look like a man, I mean, let's just be real. A man has to fight for everything they get. If you're gonna stand up
Okay.
like a man and don't want to be attracted to men, but you need men's resources, I mean, what? Like
I like where this
it's
is
like an
going.
employer. It's like an employer saying, "I want you to work for me," and you give them that posture and face. Am I gonna say ask you to work for me?
But what if you don't have a choice? What if you need a job? There's a lot of people who are working
No,
because
no,
they
no,
need
no.
a job.
Picture me as the employer, and you're the one with
Okay.
that face, and
Oh,
you need a job.
I'm the one who needs the
Yes,
job.
yes. You're the one who needs a job, and you have that attitude and that posture. Well, you should give it to me anyway, because I'm here. I could do it better than them anyway.
Okay, but see, I thought that the point of the statue was for her to be presented as someone who is powerful. So she's projecting
How is that?
power
How is that power?
because somebody cared enough to erect a statue.
No.
Okay. No, okay. I know it's coming off as silly.
Power carries weight without effort.
Does a statue? How many people got
No.
a statue of themselves? No, seriously. And I'm not even just playing devil's advocate here, because what you said earlier when you were talking about how when we revisited when we first were dating, and you said you didn't prefer black women, right?
Correct. Because that's the image of a black woman I've seen all around the world, and
Correct. So
particularly
this is
North America,
yeah,
United
yeah,
States
yeah. So
specifically.
so yeah. So okay, here we go. So let's just
That's
hold
not
on to
feminine.
that point, because I cannot believe I'm arguing in favor of the statue that I once despised. I don't anymore, because it's like somebody cared enough to erect this image in the Big Apple, not just any city, New York City, right? And
That's a statement.
yes, definitely a statement. And it's more of I'm not even, the way that I thought of it was a matter of opinion rather than fact. Like how you stated, even before we got to the age where we are now, how black women were not desirable and things like that, and how I was like the exception, right? And so
Correct.
many other black women like myself are the exception, right? However,
Right.
they are not the majority.
No, they're
And
not.
this
And
statue
here's
is
something
not
else. You're a
erected.
rare, attractive woman. A lot of
Okay.
women aren't of your caliber.
And I get that. So here's what I'm getting at. Isn't the whole point of a statue to represent a time, like a time period, what was common during that time? Even though it's not desirable.
That statue
You chose,
shows the view of what the image of a black woman is in defiance masculinely.
okay,
A woman can be masculine and be a woman, and what you gonna do about it? That's
perfect.
not. Look, any other country you could go to, I'm pretty sure you will be hard pressed to find a statue of a woman standing similar to that.
But that's why America is so beautiful. Because in America, you can
Women don't
be a
have to be.
dirtbag.
Oh, okay. So okay.
You can and be glorified. That's what's so
So
marvelous about it.
we have a glorified masculine woman standing up, broad shouldered, and that's the image of a black woman
Yeah.
who is to be the greatest woman in the world. That's the black
And
woman.
if that hey, as long as you're talking about it, it's relevant and it's making money. Because we are a capitalist
So
society.
now you bring me realize it's not even about your image. It's about what makes money.
Okay. Now let me ask you this too. Is it my
That
image?
no, that's not your image.
So
But
when you
the
said
but the
it's
but
about,
the perceived image of black woman is that statue.
and is it
You are not of that perception because you aren't built that way. But most people will still have to do like a double take. None of the
okay? But
mannerisms,
that's
none of the
but
behavior
that's
match.
but that's the point though. That's that I think I'm starting to. It's so funny how like my whole opinion has switched up because now okay, and it maybe because I went to an art school or whatever that's making me appreciate it because now I'm looking at it like it's a statement and
It is a statement. It's a statement and a statement and it's like a sign.
a sign of
Well, I haven't figured it out yet.
and
It's
that's
a because you mentioned it's in New York of all places. That's
okay.
significant.
Yep.
That's a place that means something.
Yep.
It's called the Big Apple, New York. Okay, so why pick a place that's called the Big Apple where it gets a ton of traffic, a lot of vision to put that
Mm-hmm.
statue?
Capitalism. That's all I hear. Capitalism. Money, 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 money. All I hear is money. And as America is all about money. Everything is about money here. Everything. It is so perfect. It's so perfectly dysfunctional. It's so perfect. And the reason why I say that, like now I'm starting to grow to appreciate it. And it's so funny that you and I are having such a clash about it because now I'm starting to understand that, okay, this is my opinion, and you may disagree. But now I feel like it's not something to be offended by anymore. I don't find it offensive because it's so what's the word? It's so true. It's like before we met, that is what you thought of black women, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And most men, regardless of their upbringing, stop junior, don't okay, let me ask you this. Because I know you socialize with a lot of men, obviously. Isn't that what most guys, when y'all speak amongst yourselves, is that not the image that they think of when they think of black women?
It is
So now, do you see where I'm coming
only a
from?
small percentage, not, but yeah, majority is. Yeah,
Yeah, like when most guys,
I
like,
don't like where this conversation is going.
I know it's uncomfortable, isn't it? I agree. Because this is
There's no because if you think about the image of a woman, what a woman is: feminine, elegant, beautiful. She has power, but it's in a it's like she holding it a certain way where you know to respect me. This
correct.
woman is, I dare you to say something because I'm gonna do something to you.
Is that not reality though?
It's reality.
Because that's where I'm at. Because this is what I feel. Okay, this is my philosophy. One of my many philosophies of art, right? Which
Hmm.
is art is is a depiction of reality. So, although you may disagree with it, Jazz, come on now. Although you may disagree with it, you cannot deny that it is giving a timestamp on where we are, particularly where black women, where we are in time right now. And I remember again, and I keep referring to when we first started dating, how I was offended at how you were like, no black women, because I did not know that this existed. Do you know how many women like me is going to find out that this is the norm?
No, I
Like
don't.
it
You're the
is
only woman like you I've ever found in my life. I've met thousands of women.
because I'll tell you about my upbringing. Like I was protected. Like when you think of like how you protect our daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ensure that she does not get into any BS. There are plenty of men who have daughters, but none of those daughters are yours. And there is an obvious way that your daughter is raised, how she's treated, so on and so forth, right?
Correct.
And daughters who are not protected that way, they cannot relate.
No, they
Like
cannot.
myself. Like myself, there is a lot of things that I could not relate to with other black girls growing up. Like how, I have a really popular video talking about how I don't understand black women. And even when we have this conversation, I'm starting to realize that the reason why I don't understand the majority of black women is because I was not raised like them. I don't come from what they come from. Just like our daughter, she's not being raised like we've seen daughters, young girls, like even some of our nieces, and you know what I mean? We've seen their upbringing. You know what I mean? We see
Oh yeah.
how things are going with their family dynamic and what that's going to produce down the road. We've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't because, sheltered. So, what I'm starting to see is that although this statute is offensive to those of us who are functional, dysfunction is so rampant that this is glorified. They actually threw
This
like a
is
little
true.
mini. Yeah. So like now instead of
There's no set rules and orders. It is what's glorified pays, so go with it. Fit in and make your money out of it.
but it's not, and I understand from your point of view because you do care about my image and our daughter's image and what black women that you do love, you do care about that. But that's the thing about this art form is that it is designed to show people what reality we're living in. So we might be the exception and we might only surround ourselves with the exception. But the reality is the majority sees this as a very positive thing. Even though
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you
because
know,
because
it's like the majority is being seen.
that's what they're like right there. That's right there. That's a black
Yeah.
woman right there.
It's like the majority is being seen. And it's
Yeah,
like
it is.
it almost depicts us as like snobs, like we're the bad
It
guy.
does. It does. We aren't
Yeah.
fitting the norm. That's why I don't like it. There's literally no way to get around it. That's the normal image of a black woman.
And it antagonizes us as well.
Yes, you're not fitting.
Be-
Like there's an image about a black man with a beard.
yeah.
But
You
we're
all
talking about
right?
women in this particular. But there's an image that goes with that I don't fit of. But since I look, well, I'm the black man with a beard. So, well,
Right.
you're not. Well,
And I'm
something's
listening.
wrong
Give me
with
a
it.
second. I gotta get Jazz. She's
So,
doing something wild. I'm listening.
of course she is.
Oh yeah.
Jazz,
Oh
the daughter of me and my wife, is completely running around the house very well on her own. Doesn't need any help.
yeah.
So, and she's quick. And she can talk a little bit too.
Yeah, right now that's Bookie. Bookie doing his thing.
Yeah, Boopy is my son Josh, and he is gonna be 3 in November, and he's getting pretty big too.
Yeah.
He's very smart. They're both very smart. My wife takes great
Boy,
care of them at
they
home.
be having me in here being creative. Like you gotta
Oh yeah,
keep
they keep
up,
you on your toes.
Yeah.
Stay on your toes.
Oh, good.
Yee ah
That's
yee
good.
ah. That's the
Y'all little
baby song
Spanish
right there.
song.
Yee ah yee ah. Oh, excuse me. I
Yeah.
think I burped.
Hold on, I'll do that.
Yeah, and I do not want to actually admit that that's the image, y'all. But the fact is, there's so few black women, in particular, black women specifically black women, that do not fit this image.
Yeah. All right, I'm back. I just had to do a little bit of housekeeping with them
That's
because
the woman right there. Hey, baby.
because this is what I'm thinking about that statue. So, like earlier, we did like a whole analysis from head to toe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a show. I haven't figured out how to share screen yet, but from the top of the
So
head,
from the head down, from the head you see automatically some kind of weave in the hair or fake hair. The face isn't even smiling or any kind of welcoming gesture. The posture is squared up like, come on. Isn't that what a man does?
yeah,
Okay,
and then
and then
all the
her
way
outfit is
down,
unbecoming. Unbecoming. Her shirt
and
is
then all the way
baggy,
down to the shoes.
hugging parts of her body that are unbecoming. And her pants are too tight for her body size. And then
Yeah,
hands on your hips is just,
your
I
beard
don't know
is
if the
still
word's
doing the
rude.
thing.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's the word is rude or if it's maybe the best word is confrontational, standoffish. The hand
Hmm.
no,
Like
it's just
I'm
a
still
standoff.
I'm
It's
still
like, okay,
digesting what you're
so
saying.
we're gonna be like, it's like putting the arms up, like, hey, you ain't passing right here. Come on, what you gonna do?
When you said that she was a square,
Yeah,
like how it come from
you see
top
her
bottom.
position, her hand. I just spit all over the phone. um, you see her position. She's standing there. She's not standing there with her shoulders relaxed. She got her shoulders forward, like she's ready to brawl, like she's ready to fight, like a man. Look at that.
Yeah,
She's like, come on, do something then.
yeah.
All she needs is her posse. And she's ready to jump on somebody. And she even got that little face, like,
But now, I mean,
you see
at
that
first
statue? Pull the statue up again. That statue again. Statue again. This
you
little
say
face is
what
just like
now?
statue again.
Yeah, pull it up. Like, yeah. I
Yeah, the
mean,
statue. Just like look at her face though. Does that face look like hi y'all? No, she's just like, you
but
know what
then
comes to
at the same
mind?
time, okay,
Rasputia.
yeah. Well, okay. All right. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I know. You get tired about foolishness, but I'm gonna try because it's so crazy how your opinion. I'm trying to sway you, and I'm so shocked at how difficult this is because you have more experience with these kinds of women than I do.
So you're saying you're trying to sway me? In what way,
Yes,
shape, form, fashion? Why? Who?
I am
Where?
trying to convince you that this statue is okay.
It's not okay.
Why?
What is it? What is it? What is okay about it? What does it say about a woman? A black woman.
It says that we threw this number out earlier. It says that it makes up about 80%. 8 times out of 10, this is what you're gonna see when you see a black woman.
Yeah, but why is this an acceptable image of a black woman?
Can I go on a rant real quick?
I don't
It's
feel
not,
like it. No, no,
huh?
no. Yeah, you
Okay.
can.
Okay,
Yeah, you
okay,
can.
okay. Okay. This is my point.
Do
So
you see how you're not confrontational? You listen to me. That's not what that woman would do. I'm
well
gonna
of
do what I tell.
course.
Wait, we ain't gonna do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
We know who we were like. I ain't gonna listen to no man.
Exactly. Okay. Even with all the theatrics. But isn't that reality? That is my point. Is that it's showing people like me that did not know. People like me who are out of touch. What's out here? Like again, going back to when we were first dating and you was like, you don't date black women because of these reasons, right?
Yes, and you were very offended.
Yes, I was highly offended. And shout out to Kevin Samuels. If I never would have seen his show, I
Shout out to
would have
Kevin
think he
Samuels. He
made,
taught me some things too.
yeah,
What
I
I
would have
saw was
thought he
not so
made
uncommon.
Yeah, I would have thought that all of this was made up until I discovered the show. And you know what's so crazy?
And to be real, yeah, you found Kevin Samuels before me, introduced me to him. But I was telling you about some stuff I saw,
Do you remember
and he
how I
started
found
making
him?
thoughts on that. Huh?
Do you remember how I found him?
No.
Remember when we decided to be exclusive and I had that group of friends that had a problem with it?
Yeah, I believe I mentioned
Let,
one of them liked you.
yeah. Plenty of them. So here's my point. And I'm gonna remix the name Jelly. Call her Jelly. Her name rhymes with jelly. I found out through her folks celebrating KS passing away. That's how I discovered him. I've seen little clips. I've seen little clips and stuff on Facebook, but you know that's how I discovered him. Which
Wait a minute. So when we were watching him, he already had passed.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that being said, I discovered him. Now, going back to how this relates to the statue, those women, do they not look like that statue?
They do.
Do they not carry the same energy as that statue?
They do.
Do they not dress like that statue? Are
They
their
do.
hair, is their hair, hey, cut that out. Is their hair not like that statue? Their
Yes.
face, their demeanor. And see, I did not think that they were like that statue because I was sheltered. And these women knew that I didn't know nothing. And I just figured that when we went to school together and they were mean girls, I thought mean girls grow out of being mean girls. It comes a time when you be like, okay, I need to stop doing this. Now, mind you, I got like a little time glitch on me because I joined the military. So while I'm in the military doing military stuff, I'm thinking back home, since people are living on the civilian side, they going to school and all this other stuff, that they're outgrowing a lot of their immature thinking. Again, I'm sheltered, and then on top of that, I'm in the military. I'm green. I don't know nothing, right? So
Right.
going back to like how you were talking about Black women, this goes full circle every time. Is that even though this statue can be perceived to be an insult, is it not a projection of reality, even from a Black man's perspective? No.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just not okay because you don't. Maybe you don't like
Because
it
it
because it's a.
because I don't like it because it projects a large number that don't follow a code of rules that would keep them from that. They're falling away so they can do what they want to do. And you are not part of that group. So it's like I can't relate it to all. I've seen do what I want to do attitude all day. That's what I've seen. Women like you are so rare. If I had to find one in each state, I'd be out for years looking for them.
Okay, so here. Okay, that brings me to my next thought. Because okay, I was thinking about how you were saying that I'm rare and all this other stuff, right? So with this statue, because my argument is that it projects reality, but as you started talking about how it's the reality is still not okay. This is my question to you. As a man, does it reflect anything about you as a Black man? Does it imply anything to you?
Yeah, it means that us as Black men who are supposed to lead have failed
Okay.
because Black men lead their families, they lead their women, but we have a
Okay.
lot of dysfunctional families. Yeah, someone will say, "Oh, they're all the excuses are in the book," but it doesn't matter. You were raised covered, so you
Okay.
know what covered is. These women clearly aren't covered because any father who was taking care of their child would not let their child do that, and so let them be attached to them in that way.
Okay.
'Cause that shames their name. Like my son, there's certain things he does not do, and you raise him and our daughter. The stuff that those women that I don't even know what to call them, but the stuff that those women are doing will not be tolerated because there's a father and mother. But if there's just I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, just a mother, and oh, it's okay. There's no, we're not doing that. There's no bottom line, no spine in the family, no father, husband, particularly. Then they run amok. And what we're
So this
seeing
is
is the rise of run amok babies. There's more of those visually than families like myself and you. More visual. Because
and then you know,
bear in mind, it's set up where you can have a child and it's paid for, so you don't have to worry about working.
okay.
So say me and you decide to let's do an experiment. I want to have as many babies as I can. You have as many babies as we can. We just reap the profits. So you have as many babies as you can. I have as many babies as I can. I'm not legally responsible for any of them. I'm off the
Okay.
hook. And
Okay.
you aren't either. And it's paid for.
Okay.
So there's no structure of a family because it's not under a family. It's not falling under the authority of a man to lead the family because there's no dad there in that structure. As in, we would say, the Bible.
Okay. So this is okay. This is the part where my moral compass gets cracked because I feel like
Oh, I feel. I've heard that so many times. From Kevin Samuels to Anton Daniels, shout out to y'all, to
okay, because this is what
everyone that says
this
that it is, well, I
is
feel, even Tasha K. Oh my gosh, I feel.
I knew you was gonna get me. I knew. That's why I tried
I
to.
feel well. It's common for women to say that, but men aren't supposed to say that. I know
Right.
men it's supposed to be in certainty and fact.
Right.
I know how to do X, Y, Z,
Yeah.
and I will do this. And if I don't do it, my word is my bond. I have to do it. A woman has no such standard. A woman can do anything she wants and get a slap on the wrist, no consequence. Have a baby.
But
Oops. Oh, no problem.
but that's why I love this
But a man can't do
statue
that.
so much. I have learned. You have opened my eyes because I used to be just as outraged as you were. But see, I was outraged because I felt like Black women, we cannot let people portray us this way. It's disrespectful. It's da 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 da. I
Whatever
would go
whatever
on
the
about it.
structure was that kept it together has been broken.
Huh. Meaning, elaborate.
You know, okay, so you know how there was a community, and Kevin Samuels touched on it. I can't remember his words verbatim, and you talked about it, how you grew up in a community. Well, those
Right.
communities are few and far between and broken. There used to
Okay.
be where families knew each other's families. There was fathers and husbands and all that.
Correct.
There
Yes.
was wives at home, and they helped
Yep.
each other look out, and they took care of each other, and that the
Yep.
structure. And very
Yep.
rarely did you see a daughter, specifically a daughter or a son, acting the way you see now, because
Correct.
they were under the eyes of mom and dad, and they knew dad was not going to let you do that because that's wrong. And they as time grew, they learned this is why, because you carry my name, or it's not proper, or whatever the case may be in that situation. Now you have no communities, literally no communities. The community you grew up in, I'm sure if you went there, you wouldn't be able to find the people you grew up with.
No, can I speak on that just to interject? They had some Black Lives Matter protests in my community. No lie, no lie, and they destroyed Black Lives Matter. Destroyed my old neighborhood. The
Let's talk
stores,
about
the
Black Lives
houses,
Matter. Do you remember what we talked
vandalized,
about with Black Lives
everything.
Matter? How it is not even of the communities they go to.
Right? Yeah, I just
They
had
are,
to.
but they are literally. I don't know the whole entire logistics of it, but I have seen where they bust people into certain towns to wreak havoc in the name of, and then the face
And
is
I might
Black
just.
Lives Matter,
That might be a
and
good
it's like
live too for
it would be
that.
a
That
perfect
would
live.
be.
I need to do some
Yeah,
more
but then
research
I'm
because
scared about the
um
somebody might do something to the car or something. That place has gotten so bad. But
well, see
yeah,
the
you were
thing, but
saying
yeah, but see
that
the
it's
thing is like it's
yeah.
like okay, so that's like this is like an example when truckers go on strike and they block the highway.
Right.
Okay, we're revolting because, and I'm a trucker, I'm not going to do this, but we're revolting because there's something going on that does not benefit us, and we want it to stop. Black Lives
Correct.
Matter is not from, say, like Charlotte community. I don't know it so well as you do, my wife, but I do
Right.
know that you remember a time when it was a community where you could, hey, I don't know and someone would just help you. Now, um, if you were to go there, it would not feel the same way as when you grew up.
Let me put this disclaimer on it too, and we jumping a lot, but um, there were parts of Charlotte where you should not go.
Uh
Right?
huh.
It was kind of like
Uh
I
huh.
lived on
I gotta
Prime
tell you.
Rock,
I gotta tell you
you
this. When
know.
you was telling me those parts not to go to, I was. I'm gonna just name the street. I don't know what part. In W.T. Harrison, Mallard Creek, and Sugar Creek. I was
Mhm.
around that area. I think
Right.
that's the west side. I think. Is
That's
that
yeah.
correct?
That's the north. That's the more we call that more the north side, the
Okay. There was an
northwest.
area
Yeah.
I knew called Betty's Ford. There was a
That
stretch that
yep.
you did not go on, and even
Right.
I was afraid to go on that one. If I was on
And
a
I was
bus, I
off the
didn't get off
four.
anywhere on that bus until I got to
Right.
my destination.
Exactly. And see, the crazy thing is, I lived off the four, and by the time you moved there, it was destroyed. But I was growing up in the '90s where it was falling apart.
The bus driver didn't.
But
I'm gonna tell you, the bus driver didn't even want to stop in the stops there.
yep,
He would break,
yep.
go and get on the bus, and then gone.
Right. Yep.
Like
Yep.
he
And,
like
and it's gotten that bad. But in these little pockets, which is so crazy because there was actually a judge that lived in that area. And he was, in my opinion, he was crooked. Um, but he was promoted as one of those big time family men. And he was like the shining star of Charlotte. He, his
mhm
wife, and his child were considered like the golden black family and all this other stuff.
mhm
So I
mhm.
will say this: there were a lot of people like him who I feel sold out those nicer parts so that he can be seen as, or he can be held up as like this great guy. But as
I
for
will
my
say, since you
family,
grew up there and you know the people, you know exactly what
yes,
you're talking about. There's no way to
yes,
question it because you know
yes.
the people there. So it's like with a 100% certainty, you know what kind of person could thrive and go up in that area.
Now that's the crazy part too, and I want to say this too. Growing up, I knew what it was. If I go back there today, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know
Right.
them people there. And then there's so many people moving into Charlotte.
Mhm.
I don't. They not from here. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Right.
know them. And
Right.
I was born Charlottean.
I was born in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Colorado. I went by where I grew up in Colorado. I don't even recognize it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as for my upbringing, growing up in a functional black community, like for our house was the Haley house. You know what I mean? And then down the street, you had a Badum house, and then over there, you got the Davis house, and every house was known by who was the father of the house. The father was
Right.
undoubtedly the husband,
And this goes
not the
back to
baby
why I
daddy,
said
not the
a father.
boyfriend. Yeah, there was a
Father.
father of each house, right?
And the
So,
first
and
thing you
even
said
though
was
my mother,
husband, known by the husband.
right. So when you walked into that house, if
You
Mr.
knew.
Davis is not there, Mrs. Davis is gonna, whatever it is you need, whatever, you be in and out because Mr. Davis is not home. And until we hear from
Mhm.
Mr. Davis, and that's how we did it. Everybody, it was Mr. and Mrs. too. That was another thing I grew up with. So there was no, oh, that's Shaquita's boyfriend, or that was like corny to,
There's
that
so
was
much. There's
crazy
so
to.
much boyfriend and baby daddy and baby mama. It's like you see it here at once, and it's a web of, oh my god.
Yeah, and it's normalized, and it's praised, and it's pedestalized, and it's even
And
almost
that's
at
what
a
that
point.
statue represents.
There we go, goes right back full circle,
That's
which
why
I
I'm saying that the
understand.
family, the fathers being out, the community's being broken. The father's not there anymore. In general, is this is a product of that, showing the
Okay,
lack
and
of
let me
stability in
tweak
the
that a
family.
little bit. What you just saying, and tell me if you agree with me or not. I'm not thinking about fathers because a dog can be a father. I'm
Husbands.
concerned about husbands.
Okay, let me say husband to correct my wording. Husband. Lack
And
of
I'm
a
and it's
husband.
not that I'm trying to correct you. I'm just saying just to kind of, because again, this statue, nothing about that statue says wife. Nothing
Correct.
about that statue says functional mother.
Nothing about
And
that statue says a woman.
correct. And so now here's the
As Kevin
deal.
Samuels would say, who has vetted you to be their wife?
Right. Now, here's my deal with that. This is why, and I hate that we lost most parts of this live earlier, and I'm going to try not to refer to it so much, but you have changed my mind completely in a way that it didn't click until you started when we brought up Lorena and how we met and all that good stuff and what your attitude used to be about Black women. And that's when it started to get to me that this statue is not the broader message from it being an insult is that this
It's
is
the state of what it
culture.
is.
Yes. Right now, today in 2025, when you cross the path of the average Black woman, we're just saying 8 times out of 10, we don't got no statistical data or anything, but 8 times out of 10, this is what you're gonna come across. This is what you're
Correct.
gonna be looking at.
This is the majority of what you will come across. I'm over the road over 48 states. This is the majority of what you'll come across right here.
This is what you're gonna see.
A Black woman.
And
The
that's what
percentage
you're gonna come
of
in
opposite
contact
of
with.
that is so small, you might as well not look for it.
And so even though, and I wonder, does that make us snobby? Does that make
No.
us judgmental?
That makes us no. To function, I've learned you have to judge because you have to keep yourself separate from what you don't like. If we were to be functioning that way, there's a lot of things that would be different. I can't even name them all because we wouldn't be functioning the same way we are now. That woman does not represent function.
Of course.
And does not represent a wife, and she represents a confrontation, a stance, if you will.
Yeah.
And in the time we're in now, it's like that represents so many Black women that to even argue it is an uphill battle simply because even if I were to say all I see is that, I would have very little pushback because the rarity of a woman like yourself is so rare. You're looking almost like for a needle in a haystack.
Okay. But I just feel like now that you've opened my eyes to this, I feel like it's such a necessary piece of art. Because
It's necessary because it shows a state of time. I'd say it's necessary because it serves the purpose to show a state of time and where we'll just say we as in Black people where we're at.
Yeah.
This is the average look of a Black woman.
Yeah. Tragically. But then and sometimes I even think about this idea of, since I'm such an outlier, right? And even you're not a like if they made a statue of
I'm sure there's
a
one already. We just gotta find it.
Yeah, the Black male equivalent of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'd be glorified. I don't think so because I think men will react differently. Ooh, that just brought up another thought.
Of course it would.
And you know what's so difficult about that? You know what's so crazy? I just realized that because of my upbringing, I can't even put in words what I would think what the male equivalent of that statue would look like. The Black male equivalent. I can't even think of it. That's how
I can.
sheltered. Okay, go for it.
Two versions. Remember Boondocks?
Yeah.
The boys that was like, oh, you shoulder check me, and they looked at each other.
Yeah.
That's
the
one
N-word
image right
moment.
there.
Yeah.
That's one image right there, and the other one is the prison.
Felice Johnson.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Can I say something crazy? So,
Sure.
since that's the equivalent, would you say that that's like the perfect mate for this statue? Like, that's what
Yes,
she
because
will find desirable?
he's not bound to her, and she's running everything.
Mm.
This is why I say husbands and men are not part of this woman's world, because he's there as a sperm donor, literally.
Mm.
It's
I didn't
become
think of it that
normal to
way.
have a man as a sperm donor, but he has no. I'm not doing something. I mean, we've heard it.
So hold on. Let me. So now my mind is being opened again. So this woman, the way that she looks for a man from your perspective is mainly for like procreation.
Yes, that's all. That's all the man's needed for. I don't need a man for. You hear it all the time. I don't need no man. I ain't gonna go under a man. A marriage is a
Ah,
covenant. A man is the head, and the woman comes under the man as his helpmeet, as the Bible says. But that woman is not a helpmeet. That woman is not going to
can,
follow that,
is
and
it
you
okay
know
if
it
I
in your
bring up?
bones.
Is it okay if we bring up exes? Are you cool with that?
That's fine.
Okay, just give me the bucket if it goes too far. Would you say
Okay.
Would you say that Tia was like this? And I use a pseudonym, but it's very close.
Yes.
Ah.
The only difference is the facade that she liked me. I fell for it because I was
Oh.
gullible and I was inexperienced with baby mamas. Now to be
Oh.
specific, in case anyone's wondering, I dated a girl that had two baby daddies, two different children, a daughter and a son. And
Mm.
being a guy that I was at the time, I thought it was my duty to look after those children and care for them as my own, because there was a conversation of possibly getting married.
Yeah.
When I made a statement of you should watch them go to the bus stop because something could happen to them because it's not safe, that became a problem. And the stance that we see in the statue is very similar to what I got.
I love how you
Following
keep
that, I
talking.
got upset because I felt that it was unnecessary
Yeah.
to not be protective of your children if you care about them so much. And
Right.
when I go back to listening to what Kevin Samuel said too, when you have a child with a man, that's who you should be with, because his genes don't mix with their men's genes, and you're just making babies. What is the purpose? And this is
Yeah.
why I said sperm donor. She can have 6 kids and 16 baby daddies and not blink bat an eye.
Right. So, and I'm glad. Yo, that
And then we
statue is
saw the little
crazy,
videos of
man.
the welfare and all that getting cut. And I have 6 kids. How am I supposed to do this? But they're bragging about how much money they got.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're not going to there right
So
there. But yeah,
yeah.
that's what Tia would look like. Yes, to answer your question,
Okay.
in
And
short,
that's
yes.
what she represented. So
Hmm.
then, okay. One thing
And
that
so
really,
did Tangela, the one
yeah,
before you, and so did
yeah,
Shawana, the one that you met
yeah.
particularly, that you had set up with.
And
So
that's what I'm
you see also
saying.
they're all overweight, they're all very large, and they all had an attitude. They were very ready to be confrontational. Not one of them
Yeah.
was cordial with you.
Yeah. No, they hated me. But that's always been my experience that they hate me. Like they've never been nice to
And
me.
I've always experienced women hate women that are prettier than them, especially when they know that woman could get more than them without doing what they do.
Yeah, but see, like, okay, so I didn't want to get too much into the psychosis of them and stuff, but I just kind of, oh, mama mad. Mama, you mad. Mama,
Mama
you
Llama, you
mad.
mad? You
Yeah,
mad,
she
Mama? You
mad.
mad? Don't be mad, Mama.
She looking for Junior.
Buki will
She,
be
when
around soon.
she, yeah, when she takes a nap and she gets up and she don't see him nowhere, she gets upset. And he in his
Mm.
playroom right now. He in there playing.
Now, just so you
So,
know, this kind of bond between them is hard to have without a father, husband,
oh,
and a mother,
absolutely.
because they aren't connected with both parents. They don't see the example of the connection
All
to
right.
grow that bond. You cannot. I have to say this. You cannot build the bond without both parents being present to build it,
Yeah.
because the children are watching what you are doing as parents. They learn from you. So if you are standing like this woman, and they're gonna do that. This is what we're
Yo,
supposed to do.
that the
And
way
we
she
have
said
seen
it.
young kids do that too, standing up. You've seen it. You've seen it.
Yo, the
You've
way
seen
she
it.
be saying, you be so mad about that. You brought that stance up so many times. That just upset. Look how serious you
Where's my I wish I had Kevin Samuels' little whip.
make it. I cannot believe how much. And you know what? You're making me realize how much men cannot stand confrontational women. I did not know it was that serious. I really
Yeah,
did.
because think about it. You're a woman, right? I'm supposed to come to
Mhm.
you for a woman's perspective, woman's point of view, not the confrontational, masculine. Because I do that with men all day.
Yeah.
When I come to you, I should be coming to you. Um, you're my helpmeet. If I'm thinking about something, whatever. I should be able to
Right.
come to you. Not well, you should get that done because you man, right?
Right.
Oh, so you gonna let him top you? Oh, okay. So I should be with him then.
Right.
That's what that woman says. You can see it
But
all in her
it's
face.
like the thing that made me drop my jaw earlier, bad terminology. But what really took me by
Funny
surprise today.
terminology. You know why funny? Because this whole conversation is tantalizing the mind.
Okay, okay, so look, this is what made me think. Because something that you said that was crazy was Tia was talking about marriage.
Yes,
And at the
getting
same
married and
time, though,
getting a little house to
okay,
be
so
particular.
here, but let me finish my point. So this is what gets me is that she talked about marriage, but at the same time, she presented as this statue.
Yep,
So why do men, particularly black men, get into committed relationships to the point where they're talking about marriage? Is it not a projection that these women are desirable?
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Husbands and fathers teach their sons what women do not deal with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I'm gonna tell you how I know this. Personally, I can be attracted to any woman that has the right personality. But my
Okay.
father has the experience and knows if a woman's up to some games, and that will teach me to watch those games and not fall into the traps that he fell into.
Okay.
So, if you have a son and you have no father in the picture, the woman's going to teach the son how to act like her, not like her father, or his father, excuse me, because she doesn't have the masculine energy to teach him. She knows how to be a woman, not a man.
So in short, is it like a family structure thing?
Yes, Junior
Okay.
knows how to be. Everything Junior does is a symbolic of my strength at the house.
Okay.
Without
Okay.
me there, he will naturally do that somewhat, but the testosterone level, the manliness part of him is going to be broken because I'm an example of what he strives to be and surpass. I'm a stepping stone to manhood. Like I expect him to be at least my equal or better. I want him to be better
Okay.
than me. So any decision I make, hey, this woman's doing this. Well, what does she say? Okay, well,
Okay.
what that says to me is she doesn't want to tell you the truth and isn't committed, but wants to keep you open as an option so she can come back to you. She's wasting your time.
So
You don't know
basically,
this.
if young men don't have that
Yes.
oversight, then a
Yes.
woman like Thea can have the gall to talk to you about marriage because you don't have
Hmm.
anybody to
Right.
let you
Because
know.
think about your dad and say grandpa, and how you told me about that one person that they're like, stay away from that one.
Yes,
They told you to stay away, right? Now
absolutely.
imagine if it was
Yes.
their son. My son's not going to be the woman that's going to make the same to my name. You see the father stepping in? Husband?
Ah.
That's why men are so important because men that have, and even if he messes up and he's going to learn, he's going to pass on to his son. Or at the very least, he won't do it again because not only the shame, but he's going to learn that woman just wants his resources. Men build resources over a long time. Women don't build the same resources because they don't work for it the same way. Women can
Okay.
just get resources. Men, think of a man as a bodybuilder that has to get to that stage.
Yeah,
They
he has
have
to
their
work his way
potential
up.
already there. They have the potential already there, but it takes time to get there. Women have everything they need, they just have to grow up. If they want something, I want this. Our daughter, perfect example. I want this. I want this.
Oh yeah,
Naturally,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
get it, right? Our son, that's
Right,
nowhere near the same way. You
right,
see? And Junior, as he grows, it's gonna take him time to understand that everything you get, you have to earn, and then you have to fight for it to keep it. Because someone that just gets it, and there are, we'll call them men, but really a man is someone who stands on his own 2 feet, is married, and takes care of his family,
right.
and is respectful to his wife. I don't care what anyone says. There's no reason to be disrespectful to your wife. And if you do, you need to do something about it to make it right. But to get right to the point, a man has to earn everything he has. Men typically, a man does not get a handout. He has to earn it. I don't. You can't go to a job and expect to be a CEO and not have earned the reputation. To at least know what you're doing. Even
Right.
Daddy's. What we talked about, the basketball player. I don't want to mention his name. His son. He's just putting there because
Yeah.
of the way of his
Yeah,
dad. But
he's
guess what? He's not.
anybody can get. I said
Okay. Okay.
LeBron. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You go ahead. You go ahead and
LeBron
say it.
James.
But
Yeah.
I'm new on your channel. I don't know. Okay. So his son is nowhere near the caliber that LeBron was in his height, but he's tanking.
Right.
And LeBron, as a father, should have him off and not have it affect. But see how he's affecting the entire thing. They're gonna have to make a
Right.
decision with LeBron and his son. He's going out.
Right.
He's coasting off the notoriety he built. LeBron built notoriety on his own. Then he brought his son in under him. He's coming in under me, but he didn't build up to where his dad is. So he's below his dad and tanking. While LeBron was up here, he's coming down with his son because he's costing more than he's earning.
Correct.
Men
Yeah.
have to earn and then maintain and keep it, and they pass it on to their sons. They teach their sons how to do this. This is with women as well.
Yeah. So
So you
so with
don't,
this statute,
yeah.
so a woman like Tia, basically, it's easy for a guy her to go and require marriage to a guy, even though because I like how on one end you're really mad about this statute, but on the other end, this statute can demand marriage. Because that's the part that used to confuse me a lot. I used
This
to think
statute
that
demands
black men.
marriage because it only goes one sided with this
Yeah,
marriage.
because see,
Because she,
this is where I'm going with it. Because I used to think that black men desired that. A
no,
lot of times when you see black,
no.
like a lot of times, yeah, because when I've dated black men in the past, and I was straight up when I was dating. Like I'm only looking to be married. I'm not trying to, and a lot of times that would scare black men away when I would go out on
Yeah,
dates because
yeah.
I
And you know
wasn't
why? Because
playing.
they weren't raised by a father that taught them to look for marriage.
I don't really care about it because and this again, this is a woman thing too. Because one thing about women, the fact that you said no is enough. The background don't mean nothing to me. You know what I mean? Because that's my thing. It would be chicks like Tia, like this statue, and men would be tolerating all kinds of BS. Like you mentioned, she had 2 kids, 2 different baby daddies. Me, I'm walking around with no kids.
And by the way, named one of her sons a junior after that said guy.
Even worse, you walking around calling this boy by his daddy name, and then she's thinking about getting married and having a house, and you gotta call her
Again,
ex's
this goes to
name.
show. This goes to show. I had to learn from the bottom up.
Okay, so is it so now is what? Let
This
me
was the
make sure
learning.
I'm
This was the
correct.
learning curve for me. No father.
So so did it come off like so my perception, you're teaching me right now that my perception was wrong, right? Which
It
was
is very wrong.
you desire this. You're playing
No.
stepdad with this. You're willing to marry this. You're willing to go get a mortgage, go into hundreds of thousands of dollars for this.
Do
On
you
the flip
remember when we
side,
got married and you talked about finances, right? And how
correct,
what expenses marriage would be and what we would want to do, what we decided to do, and
right,
how we decided to do that, right? A woman
right,
like that needs more money.
of
So she will go
course.
to whoever has a lot of money and demand they give them that money
Is
in a
it
concept
that
with
women like
marriage.
me are not demanding? Are we
Mm,
too passive?
no. there's more of those Tias than there are of you.
Ah,
And
got
there's
it.
too many men, and I'm saying men loosely as boys that are of age to be with a woman that don't have fathers teaching them to stay away from those kind of women, because those women are vultures.
Okay.
Because they take all, okay, say I was a millionaire and I met you, you had kids. All my resources go to those kids you have, and that goes to that father as well. That's not going to me. And even when we have our own kid,
Right.
my resources go to my kids with you, like how we
Right.
discussed. And even if you have one, obviously we would have discussed a way to make it.
You're right.
But
It's between the kids.
nevertheless, right. But with a baby mama that has kids, that's not the case, because you are assigning appropriations to her for being you and her. Her kids, she can decide if you have oversight over them or not. But she's got a thing with the baby daddies on the side. So she's got options outside of you that that man that marries her has to deal with. He don't have a
Of
say over
course.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basic economics. Yes.
But my resources go to all those kids though that she had with the other guy though.
That's why I
I don't
don't
get to say that
understand why y'all be committed to that. It makes no sense.
because
Like, do you know? Hold on, let me just rant for a minute. Do you know how many women like me were watching guys like you who work hard and do everything you're supposed to do pass us up for the chick with the lashes and the weave and the attitude and the raptor claws? Y'all go for that statue all day, and then we
again, I'm
would be
telling you
over here.
that fathers teach their sons what not to deal with, because that what that is eye candy that looks appealing.
Okay.
But we don't, as a man, we mature differently than women, because we mature over time, like wine.
Okay.
I don't have the same maturity at 18 as I do now at 41.
Okay.
At 18, when I'm hitting puberty, I'm looking at women like, oh my gosh, look at all these women. At 41, yeah,
Mhm.
I see women, but I don't see them the same way. One, I'm married. Two, I know each woman has a story and an agenda. Through my experience I've learned on my own without my father's oversight, I've had to learn the hard way from the bottom up and potentially almost lost everything I worked for to get that.
Correct.
In fact, I'll go this far. I actually lost everything and started over with you.
Right.
I actually had worked and built up money and I lost all of it because I gave and gave and gave. A father that teaches their son who to be with and who wouldn't, you don't give your resources to a woman unless she is committed to you, because you're going to pour into her and she'll pour into you, so you aren't at a loss. A woman
Right.
like that is a loss for a man who has value and means and is raised by a husband in a family. This is why a man has to be raised correctly with a husband and wife in a family,
Right.
particularly his own, because genetically speaking, you can't talk to that son the same way because he doesn't understand you the same way.
Right. And I'm still listening to you. I need to go check on Junior. I think he went to sleep. And Jazz, she's doing her thing. So did you want to continue with the live or did you want to chill?
I want to chill, and then we can get on a
Okay.
little bit later.
Okay, cool. Well, I do appreciate your insight on this statue and everything. And so,
Yep.
like, yeah.
Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure.
Um,
We'll
yeah.
see about getting on here next Saturday maybe, or
I
we'll
don't know
making that
about
time to
setting
get
the
up.
schedule yet because I don't know like how they be doing stuff. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
just plan
We'll
around
just
them.
coordinate a
Yeah.
time that works best for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, so it was real cool coming on here. And we brought up a lot of other points too that I wanted to touch on, but I'm gonna go on ahead and get
Yeah.
them settled. And
Hmm.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in and everything. And yeah, we'll catch y'all
Yes.
on the next one.
I as well, and I have a little trucking channel. I'm doing little trucking videos here and there. Um, capital
Yeah,
LQ_trucker, late quarter trucker.
yeah. And then I'll go ahead and tag your thing so they could be able to follow your channel. But yeah, my husband Josh,
All
he's
right.
a red quarter trucker. And
Yep,
like,
that's me.
yeah,
Hey, everybody.
yeah.
And
So
yeah, and thank you all for watching. And we'll have more coming up soon.
all right, cool. All right, I'll call you and see how you're doing everything.
All right, we'll do.
All right,
Well
cool.
done. All right. All right. Bye bye.
All right, bye.